Hey guys, Marsningen here, bringing you a very special Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. I have finally done it. You can see from the title, it is no joke. I have finally done the GINYU Force Super Battle Road stage with no items. Up until the release of the link leveling system, we had pretty much been under a common consensus that this stage was impossible. And I had a look at their links just prior to the release of the level update on Global, just to see what they did, to see whether it would make a difference, because obviously if they just get like a bunch of maybe attack or key links, or like, like extra key or extra attack from having level 10 links, it wouldn't necessarily be that much easier. But one thing that, I will show it on the screen here, but one thing that actually made me think that it could be a little bit easier, which then has actually turned out to be incorrect. So this is kind of an interesting one. But on the wiki, it says that the link, the GINYU Force, which obviously every single person on the category has, at level 10 gives 5% damage reduction. So I thought, wow, you know, every single unit on the team having 5% damage reduction, even though it's not a lot, that's going to help to make the stage easier. And then one of these two, is it respect? It's either respect or loyalty. Yeah, loyalty is a 5% damage reduction link, which is held by the Tech GINYU. I think the physical LR has it as well. Yep, and then the Int GINYU has it. So those are two more 5% damage reduction links. One or two of them I didn't get to 10 just because this at level 10 just gives you an extra 0.6 or 0.7% attack, which I didn't think would be the make or break for the team. But as you can see actually on your screen now, let's press the right button here. The GINYU Force link does not give 5% damage reduction at level 10. It gives a 5% chance of performing a critical hit. So I was wondering why all of the other members of the GINYU Force, because obviously the LRs and Int GINYU are the best units on the team. I wondered why they were still taking so much damage. And so yeah, the wiki is actually incorrect. So I'm going to leave a comment on that bit and see if somebody sees it. But yeah, so the rest of the team is not getting damage reduction. But yeah, they're all getting a bunch of extra attack. GINYU and the LRs are of course the best units on the team. But yeah, without further ado, let us jump into the actual run itself. Okay, so we are jumping in for the winning run on GINYU Force Super Battle Road. I've mentioned this in some of the previous no item runs, but the really difficult ones, I always just record multiple attempts like without commentary, because as I'm sure you can imagine, this run probably took over 100 attempts. So sitting down to record and like going through the intro and stuff only to die in like the first turn, which believe me happens a lot with this team. It's kind of annoying. So what I do is record all the runs, and then if we do get the W, I record the commentary afterwards. So you can see here, GINYU is an absolute beast in slot 1 here. When there are more than one opponent, he has 50% damage reduction. So as long as you have more than one of the enemies left alive, he is actually the best tank out of all the units on the team. Once the second opponent is gone and you only have one enemy left, he doesn't have the damage reduction. He gets a buff to attack and defense, but I think that normally puts him at slightly less defense than the LR. So the way our rotations are going to work are, as you can see, we got very lucky. This is probably one of the reasons why this was a winning run. The fact that the GINYU and Tech Goku GINYU are one rotation, and then the two LRs are one rotation. Now, the physical LR GINYU Force, when you get your 18 key super, they buff the defense of everybody on the rotation. So it's very important to get their 18 key super, especially because like the Tech one has slightly lower defense, but of course we are going up against Gohan, who has type disadvantage. The physical GINYU Force has type disadvantage to Krillin, so getting that 18 key super off first and getting that little bit of extra defense is obviously very useful. That allows Jace there to tank a little bit better than he would have normally. Unfortunately, we got the dodge as well. So to prepare for this run, as I said at the very beginning in the intro, I leveled up their links. 1 or 2 of them are still at 9 because those ones weren't important. I think like Jace has one, which is Tag Team of Terror, which he only has with Berta, which I think only got up to like 7 or 8. But because he doesn't share it with anyone else on the team, there was no point in wasting time getting it to level 10. But then the other thing I did was I went back. Now, when I first built the GINYU Force, I gave them the hidden potential stats that I thought would make the most sense based on their passives and how you would use them in like a regular event, right? Because obviously doing the original run of GINYU Force Super Battle Road with items, not super difficult. So going back to do this, I went and re-farmed each of the stages, farmed up a bunch of extra copies, and basically changed every single one of the non-LR members of the GINYU Force to having as much dodge as possible in their hidden potential system, so we could hopefully get some clutch dodges. I don't actually even know if we have it in this run, but some of the runs where I came incredibly close, I got some really clutch like dodges of super attacks and stuff, so... But yeah, as you can see, we are almost on full HP going into Fight 2. So very lucky in Fight 1. And we've got our GINYU rotation here. Sometimes it's kind of funny when you go into the 2nd or 3rd fight and you have Jace on the rotation. Sometimes right there, it's like an instant fail. Same with Fight 1, to be fair. If Jace is on rotation 1, it means you can see where the super attacks are. So sometimes you can see that literally in slot 1, you got 2 super attacks. And depending on the rotation the game gives you, you might not have a unit that could even tank 1 super attack, let alone 2. So the number of runs where I just went into the first fight and then just immediately quit. Because like if the game gives you the rotation of like Jace, Guldo and Raccoon, then yeah, you might as well just give up because none of them can tank a hit, which as we now know, thanks to the intro, after checking the wiki again and checking in-game, the GINYU Force link does not give damage reduction. So all of the non-LR members of the team don't have any extra damage reduction from the link update. They do have some extra defense, but as you can see, Jace taking 35k from normal attacks, and the team only has 300,000 HP. So we're already getting quite low, as you can see here. So it becomes a weird balancing act where you want to try and grab same type orbs as much as possible because it's literally the only thing we have to heal us until we get the Dokkan attack. But you also don't want to get the Dokkan attack too quickly because it can be a huge benefit in how you finish the stage. The first couple of attempts where I got close to winning, because trust me, out of all of those like 100+ attempts, I only got to the 3rd fight maybe like 6 or 7 times. Because sometimes it's hard enough to finish the first fight with a reasonable amount of HP. And a lot of times you could come into this 2nd fight and then straight away you just get like double super attacked in slot 1. So it's very difficult. And here we're in kind of a tricky situation because GINYU obviously has type disadvantage over this Goku. So without Jace on rotation, I kind of just have to roll the dice and hope that there isn't going to be a super attack in slot 1. Because that would obviously be GG right here. So yeah, 40k. So now that he doesn't have his damage reduction for there being 2 opponents, that is a lot of damage. The LR is pretty tanky. The Tech Goku GINYU, they do have a GINYU Force Allies like support passive as part of their passive, so obviously that helps as well. So this rotation is actually really tanky in the right circumstances because you get the 18 key super with the physical LR, buffs everybody's defense. They share those links that give the damage reduction. And then of course the Tech Goku GINYU is probably the harder hitter. His 18 key raises the attack of everyone on rotation. So depending on where the attacks are laid out, you could put the Tech Goku GINYU first and then the physical one second. That would mean the physical one would do more damage, but the physical one buffs the defense if he goes first, which I felt was kind of more important overall. So as you can see, unfortunately, we did not finish off Goku that turn. I was kind of hoping we would need to have gotten crits with basically everyone for it to have been finished off. So now I know that we absolutely can't avoid it. I just go all in on picking up as many type orbs as possible. Honestly, at this point, I wasn't feeling this is going to be a winning run, because getting the Dokkan attack at the end of the second fight is obviously not ideal, even in the best of circumstances. But the way I thought that this was going to be doable was to save the Dokkan attack for the third fight. But to be fair, even in the couple of attempts, like I said, very few, but the couple of attempts where I actually got to the last fight, the first 2 or 3 times I did it, I had the Dokkan attack ready to go. But even doing the Dokkan attack to start the third fight, I didn't survive the turn the first like 2 times I actually got to the last fight, because of supers like midway through or near the end. So at least this way, we're going into the last fight with quite a lot of HP. We don't have the Dokkan attack to fall back on, but we do have a lot of health. So as long as we don't get incredibly unlucky with getting spammed with supers, then obviously I figured there would be the chance of success. So the physical GINYU, I think I'd decide to leave him in the first slot. I'm contemplating putting the tech one there just because he at least has type advantage over Thouser. But the physical one does have slightly higher defense. And then, of course, once he takes those first 3 attacks, he's then going to be raising his defense. Whereas if I put the tech one in the first slot, he's not going to raise his defense at all. So we do take a super attack slot 1. Not surprised. Typical Super Battle Road shenanigans. Took over 100k damage. So already that now drops us back down below 50%. Yeah, we're just over 40% HP. But after supering, of course, now he's just taking double digits, which is all good. And then the Tech Goku, not able to get the 18 key super, so he doesn't do a ton of damage here. And then unfortunately, Guldo not coming through with the stun, so he doesn't take a lot of damage from Thouser, but fortunately we lowered the attack of Naze, so didn't take a huge amount of damage. Now this is where I was really starting to get worried, so I'm waiting for the super attack thing to cycle through so I could double check exactly who it was. So it is Thouser that's going to super attack, so I basically have no choice but to put the Goku GINYU in slot 1, target Thouser, and basically just hope that he can come through with the damage and finish him off. So fortunately we can grab some Int Orbs and a whole bunch of STR Orbs here for Jace. So that puts us, what, just at about 115k HP. So very much hoping that this super attack takes out Thouser. We don't get the crit, we don't take him out. We get an additional, which, you know, filled me with hope for a second there, but no crit. So fortunately, it doesn't do insane damage. It does 34k, which is not that bad. And then obviously, thanks to the damage reduction links, Naze has been attack lowered. So we just take double digits in slot 1 with the rest of the attacks. So fortunately, like if that had been either of the other 2 super attacking, it would have just been GG. So we were very lucky that it was Thouser with the super there. And Jace able to do a little bit of damage to Naze to finish the turn. So these are the turns where it always gets sweaty, because we don't have Jace on rotation, so I have no idea what is going to happen. But if either of them super attacks in slot 1, we probably die. And again, I contemplated putting the tech one in the first slot for A, the extra attack, and B, the fact that we just don't have access to all of those physical orbs. But it does make more sense. The physical GINYU has more defense. Even though he's not going to buff the defense of the tech one only has to take 1 hit. And then, of course, we can pick up that whole sea of physical orbs with Raccoon, which gives us a nice little bit of health. Fortunately, they didn't super. Physical GINYU gets a crit off of the 12 key super, which is, of course, very, very beneficial. And then no crit from the tech GINYU. But see, he's taken 10k. So also, actually, the funny thing about this run is the friend, after all the times I tried, so shout out to Alec from the Global Gang Podcast, Pilk, aka Raptors Delight, my boys from the IRL, Dokkan, Jake and Garkaz, you guys might recognize those names from the stream. Shout out to everyone who set their GINYUs for me, Rainbow Star. Some people even started leveling the links for me. So I did have a few attempts with Rainbow friends that had like 5 or 6 or like 7 or 8 link levels across the board on their tech GINYU. And the funny thing is, this GINYU friend that we bought for this run only has 2 dupes and is level 1 links across the board. So obviously we got very lucky. Like, this run would have been a lot easier if we had that level 10 links friend. And of course, you see there, we take a super attack. We took, what, 100k? Was that? Or was it only 10k? That was... I was very, very nervous when that super attack got fired off. But we get the stun on Dore with Guldo, which basically, this is the point where I start getting a little bit excited, because we know we're going to finish off Naze with any attack here, because he's got basically no health, and he's not super attacking until the very end of the turn. So I go ahead and finish him off with the physical Ginyu, and now we're in a really great position because the only remaining enemy is stunned for the rest of the turn. So we know we're not taking any more damage this turn. We can get off the 18 key super here with Tech Goku Ginyu, and then we've got a little bit of extra damage coming in from Jace. We get the additional normal, at least it's a crit, do a little bit of extra damage, and then Jace gets a crit as well, so that all helps. And then, okay, so we got one attack in the front, one in the back, so the only choice we really have is to put Ginyu in the front. We're obviously hoping that the attack in the last slot is not going to be a super, because I don't think we have enough damage output on this turn to kill him. Ginyu now, of course, getting a massive attack buff, though, because there's only one enemy. But fortunately, of course, he has the type advantage, so he takes double digits. The Tech Ginyu is at least going to buff the attack of Raccoon in the final slot. And then once I saw that crit, I knew it was GG. So, tiny sliver of health. Raccoon manages to do that last bit of damage. I think if that attack in the last slot wasn't going to be a super, we probably would have survived it. But there you go. That is the Ginyu 4 stage beaten with no items. All 30 stages of Super Battle Road on Global beaten with no items, because I am the Super Battle Road King. So yeah, there it is. That's the run. No one else in the world has done this at the time of recording. Obviously, I'm sorting out the editing and stuff, and I'm going to get this video up as soon as possible today. But yeah, I redouble checked, like I said at the beginning. I went on Reddit, I went on YouTube, I went on Google. Have not found this anywhere, and I know the other couple of people that I know of that have been trying it have not done it yet. So I know Truth mentioned on a recent No Items run, I think he might have mentioned it on the latest podcast episode as well, that he was leveling up the Ginyu Force link. So I know that it's in the back of his mind. But there you go, Truth. That's it's a pretty strong claim to the Super Battle Road King title there. I know you've got a head start on me with Extreme Super Battle Road and those extra categories not having come to Global, but I mean, some of those are definitely not going to be anywhere near as difficult as this. So as soon as they drop on Global, I will be doing those as well. So yeah, I don't want to hear anyone else claiming to be the Super Battle Road King if you have not beaten the Ginyu Force stage and all 30 of the original stages of Super Battle Road with no items. Like, remember, it's not about races. It's not about, like, I've had races with other people, and sometimes, you know, the RNG or bad plays or whatever, like, you know, anyone can win or lose a race on a given day. Super Battle Road King is all about those no item run videos, and there you go. No one else has this one. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like I said, as soon as the new stages drop on Global, I will be doing those as well. But yeah, that is the road to the Global stages fully completed. 30 out of 30. World's first. As you can tell, very excited about this. So yeah, smash like, subscribe if you are new. Check out the Discord. Those links are in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.